A very good day to you, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another episode of the Candy Talk here on Herman Manyora's YouTube channel. My name is Evan Soking and I'm here with Professor Herman Manyora all the way from the hills of Luambei. Prof, how are you?
Good, yes.
How is your part of the country right now?
Oh, my place in Luambei is good. Only a friend of mine, College Jamin, is unwell, but we are doing very well. Yeah.
I want us to get back to the central. Seemingly, the mountain here is forced to reckon with when it comes to determining who is who in this country. And recently, for the first time, we saw almost the four leaders share a podium. The only one who was missing there, perhaps, is the Right Honorable Raila Odinga. Talk to me about the kind of reception that Rigathi Gachagua got at that particular place and how he was received, especially when his name was mentioned, as compared to the rest.
Well, I've said before, Gachagua is no pushover.
Okay.
But it is more than Gachagua the person. Gachagua represents the general feeling of the people of Mount Kenya. The people of Mount Kenya are angry and the mountain is restless. And anything they are doing around Gachagua. So they associate their betrayal, their pain with Gachagua. Yeah.
Okay.
So that's why he's that popular now on the ground. Yeah.
So his popularity aside, another thing that we can actually take from that particular event is what has now been termed as the return of Uhuru, being known to be a very silent guy, especially after exiting active governance back then. He's not been appearing on such kind of public function, but then for the first time we are seeing him here. And the dailies are reporting of some sort of a power struggle, of course, to inherit his seat in that particular area. Now, in the first place, how relevant or how consequential is Uhuru Kenyatta still to the politics of this?
You know, there is Uhuru, there is President Uhuru Kenyatta. Then there is Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta, the man. Then there is the Kenyatta name. Then there is the Kikuyu part of it. That is a complex. It's an institution. Kikuyu, President Uhuru Kenyatta. Then Uhuru Kenyatta. Then the Kenyatta name. Then the Kikuyu tied in between is an institution.
Okay.
So it's not something you can wish away. Yeah. The Kenyattas are an institution. Uhuru Kenyatta is an institution. Yeah. He's a prince in retirement. Yeah. So he's not somebody. No, so now, nobody can command more respect than Uhuru Kenyatta on the mountain. Nobody.
Can this respect now definitely translate to numbers in terms of
course.
votes and all that now being, if so, then do we then expect that he'll be a very big factor in 2027?
For now, whatever Uhuru says will carry the day in the mountain. Wherever he tells the people to go, unless he's driving them to William Ruto. Any other place they will go. Yeah.
So talk to me about, I want us to connect here the nexus between Uhuru Kenyatta and Rigathi Gachagua here, because of course you remember that they were not actually in good terms back then. But of course recently, in the months nearing his impeachment, he had actually reconciled with the former president and the Kenyatta family at large. Do you think that these two leaders can actually work and maybe get real hold and control of the community?
Faith is an interesting thing. Faith can unite them. And I think their faith is tied. I mean, they have a lot to gain by being together. And now more than ever before. Gachagua is synonymous with the mountain. And the mountain identifies with Gachagua. Because when they see Gachagua, they see the betrayal. They see the pain. So the mountain identifies with him. On the other hand, Uhuru Kenyatta is the undisputed king. He doesn't have to do anything, he's just a king. But the king can also be vulnerable. Because politics is politics. Sometimes many politicians finish their opponents. If you want to finish Uhuru Kenyatta, you have to go for the family financial empire. You know, there's no family, no individual in this country who controls half of what the Kenyattas control in terms of the economic power. They are in every sector of business. And whatever they touch is money. So their investment portfolio in this country is unmatched. It is huge, almost humongous. So if you want to chip away the power of the Kenyattas, you need to go for their business, their businesses. And it won't be the first time. It has happened before. Not in Kenya alone, everywhere across the world. So it is in the interest of Kenyatta to stay afloat. This he can do in two ways. One, by going to Ruto, seeking peace. And you know that can be very humiliating, given the circumstances, the wars they have had in the past. So you will have to go there and seek peace. It will be in the interest of Ruto to receive Uhuru Kenyatta, because now with Raila and Uhuru, and I say nobody can match him until 2027, 2032. Yeah. So Uhuru can choose that path of working with Ruto, joining Raila and they work with Ruto. That will give him protection that he needs. But he can also choose to hit back at Ruto, or to deal with the unfinished business, because he had wanted to prevent Ruto from being president. It didn't work. He can have another try in 2027. And also hit back at Ruto for trying to antagonize the family, as you know. And if he chose that second route, then partnership with Gachagua is the only way. Yes. Because you see, as a former president, there are things President Uhuru cannot do. You know, as a statesman. You can't address a rally in Kamkunji, tell people, that would be what Obama has been doing in America. It's not normal. It's not common for a retired president to keep actively involved in the politics of the land, especially during elections. So Uhuru can't do that directly. And you see, he has always restrained himself. Because he has a future to think of. There is a family. There are children. There are grandchildren. You don't want to spoil all that. So he can find in Gachagua the best man to do it for him on the ground. So he just talks in parables the way he talked during that coronation of the bishop in Embu. Just like that. You don't go. Unakanyaga tu kidogo alafu unatoa mguu. Alafu unawachia Gachagua anaendelea. Yeah. So it's in the interest of Uhuru Kenyatta to work with Gachagua. It's also in the interest of Gachagua. With the Kenyatta name, then the mountain will go where you people want. Then you'll have your pound of flesh. Yeah.
If they saw these people called betrayal, if at all that is actually true, that the mountain actually feels betrayed right now, and then there could be a deliberate attempt for revenge come the year 2027.
Yes.
For sure, the only person whom we can look forward to in terms of spearheading that particular revenge mission is Rigathi Gachagua. Yeah. Owing to the fact that he is the one whose political life was in the balance and who actually got chopped off by the end of the day.
Yes.
Why would you advise the former president actually to get into, or rather to board this particular revenge train led by Rigathi Gachagua?
But see, revenge is, Gachagua is a small thing of being removed from DP. Uhuru's stake is higher.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a whole empire. It's a whole institution that could be destroyed. It's a family. The Kenyatta family, the Kenyatta name can be destroyed if you don't protect it. That name must be protected at all costs from Uhuru's perspective. And therefore, he has a lot more in this thing than Gachagua.
Yes, well.
In any case, Gachagua is unlikely to stand for presidency. So his is just simple revenge on his own behalf and on behalf of the community. But for Uhuru is a bigger issue. Yet he cannot do so directly. So he can do so through Gachagua. Gachagua, on the other hand, will be very happy to to work with Uhuru Kenyatta, to even cleanse his name because of the things he had said about the Kenyattas. So it's the two people can work together. Yeah.
One who is a former president.
Yes.
The other one who has been impeached and
Yes.
whom we do not know whether the same fate that fell Ferdinand Waititu and Mike Sonko would actually fall him at this particular moment, depending on the outcome of his, of course, case. But then some people would ask, for a former president who would not actually directly impact on the deliverables in terms of leadership in this particular country, side of the country, of course, and for an impeached deputy president, some people would say that perhaps if we look at it from this perspective, all these people, this particular duo, the Uhuru Gachagua kind of people are irrelevant in terms of influence in this particular area and in terms of development, if at all that is what we'll be looking at as a community. So why would they then rally behind it?
It is politics. It's not development. Yeah. In fact, Ruto will go out of his way to pour development in Mount Kenya as a way of getting Mount Kenya. And
So
still it won't work.
It's politics, not development.
Yes.
Can we then talk about development politics? If that would be...
No, I don't think. You see, when people are annoyed with you, it doesn't care. It doesn't matter what you do for them.
So no matter what the president
No.
does for the community...
Even if we went to take Beulah an airport in Nyeri and another one in Kiambu and another one in Kerugoya and another one in Meru, and connect the towns with the rail line, they will not. Even if we put up in every constituency in Mount Kenya, the equivalent of Alliance High School and Alliance Girls, they will still not.
Why?
That's how politics works. It's not about what you have done.
Okay.
It's simple things that people go for. When you annoy people, you have annoyed them. You have to find a way of turning that around.
So even
but he will do everything within his reach. Because there's no way, and I want to repeat this, I have seen people making some cheap calculations. There's no way if Ruto faced an opponent, there's no way he can survive without Mount Kenya. You cannot. He cannot. I've said it repeatedly and I'm repeating it. There's no way Ruto can survive without the votes of Mount Kenya unless he gets a very feeble, a very weak opposition, or unless he plays the Moi trick of playing Kibaki against Matiba, Jaramogi against Matiba. So there was Jaramogi, then there was Matiba and Shikuku. That meant the original Ford was split. Matiba is on his own, Jaramogi is on his own. And then, now you have Matiba, you know his danger. You now create Kibaki. So the Kibaki and Matiba factions in Mount Kenya split the Mount Kenya votes. You go back 2 terms. So unless Uhuru, for example, is to work, Ruto can work with Matiang'i. Yeah, he can finance Matiang'i's campaign. He can tell Matiang'i, shika hii 10 billion, kuja mount a serious campaign.
We'll come and have a whole discussion on the Matiang'i thing,
Yes.
because I've also seen it's also coming here.
Yes.
But then I'm still getting you back here because I'm like wondering, right now we can see that William Ruto is actually family with Kithure Kindiki in terms of who then represents the interest of the Mount Kenya people here. And actually right now for them, they would be like the highest ranking official from that particular region is Kithure Kindiki. So far, based on how he's conducted himself and even his own demeanor alone, do you think that he is able to fit in that particular shoe until he drives the whole community to vote for Ruto?
Kithure Kindiki will just be like Kamodo. Kamodo was there. The evergreen, ever-present, diminutive, powerful Secretary General of Kano, JJ Kamodo. But Kamodo was there, but the Kikuyus were not with Moi at that time. So it's possible you are there. For now, politics keeps changing, but for now, Kindiki doesn't seem to fill that gap. The void is still there. They don't feel him.
Assuming now...
I'm not saying he won't, because that's what politics is about. Maneuvering and scaling mountains and climbing the top of Mount Kenya, which only perhaps a few years earlier people would not have thought, even imagined possible. And the Ruto has shown the way that you can do the impossible.
Okay.
Yes.
So even if, assuming that now the Rigathi Gachagua decides to partner with Uhuru Kenyatta, and then they are there in that particular revenge mission to ensure that now you decided to betray us and punish us as a
Yes.
community, and now it's our payback time. We also want to show you how this actually works. And then Ruto now decides to go ahead with Kithure Kindiki, and we are looking at a situation whereby now it's Kithure Kindiki against the duo. Who carries the day in terms of influence?
Gachagua.
According to you?
Gachagua wing will carry the whole of the mountain. Yeah. A few sprinkler votes from Mount Kenya East, really inconsequential. Not consequential, inconsequential.
So what would we are seeing a situation whereby Uhuru Kenyatta is, I don't know whether we say that he's still active in politics, because the last time I checked he was still the chairperson of
It is a
Assembly.
magic. It is a magic of the Kenyatta name I'm talking about. The Kenyatta name is a magic name. Yes.
Okay.
Magic. You touch the name, even when people were shouting against Uhuru, whoa, whoa, even insulting the mother, what? It was very temporal.
Okay.
They'll go back to factory setting. And their destiny, their fate is tied with the Kenyattas. Their pride is associated with the Kenyattas. Yeah.
Okay.
You remove the Kenyatta from the equation, and the myth about the power of the Mount Kenya people crumbles. Their numbers become useless. You saw in 2022. Once you allow, even 1992, once you allow others to play you, your numbers become inconsequential. So the Kikuyu magic, the Kikuyu numbers, the Mount Kenya numbers, can very easily be rendered irrelevant. It happened in 1992. It happened in the year 2022. In 2022, the numbers were rendered useless in two ways. Number one, by splitting and giving Raila about 20-something%, about 1 million votes. That almost cost their side, and their side was Ruto's side. It almost cost them the presidency. The second way is, as we are moving towards the election of 2022, Uhuru's words begin to make sense. And the Mount Kenya people get into a state of confusion. They are disturbed. As Uhuru keeps telling them, Mutaona, you will see. Guy, God, you are about to make a great mistake. And Mother Karua says, you will enter a hole. So, there is a moment of paralysis. That now is the second way in which their numbers were diluted. Because that moment of paralysis, of indecision, meant that there was a very poor turnout from Mount Kenya. Yes.
Okay.
They had believed it is Ruto, but now they kept hearing the words of Uhuru Kenyatta and Mother Karua, and they were in a state of paralysis. And that moment, the elections come on, is it 9th of August? They are in that state of confusion. And the turnout was as poor as we all know. Had elections taken place 2 weeks earlier, Ruto would have gotten almost double the number, the votes he got. But equally, had the election taken place two weeks later, Raila would have gotten the sort of votes that Uhuru now got. So in those two ways, the Mount Kenya votes were rendered irrelevant. Yeah.
Okay. Now, I want us to conclude by looking at these. Formerly, Uhuru was there as the president, and he was actually against William Ruto.
Yes.
Why should Ruto be worried this particular time when Uhuru is actually not in power, even if he would decide to be on the other camp?
But people reject an MP and give him 20% of the votes. When he's seeking re-election, he goes home. They give another one 70% of their votes. Come the next election, the one they had rejected, they give him 90%. That's politics.
Okay.
Yeah. People, sometimes somebody comes with a very sweet tongue. You know, they are demagogues who know how to speak. Then people realize that this is a joke.
Okay. So therefore, you say that the return of Uhuru and perhaps his possible unity with Rigathi Gachagua.
It's a game changer.
A real game changer.
Oh, if Uhuru is all out directly, not by even talking, people just to know that he's supporting, say, Kalonzo, together with Gachagua. Hey, to beat him would be very difficult. And the only way to beat him is the option I gave you, which you don't want us to talk about. And Ruto ni nani? Ruto ni yule mjanja. If these guys think they will just angusha Ruto, oh, my friend, Americans say they got another thing coming. Yeah.
And of course, if our viewers want to know the other option that we just talked about, of course, we are having it in our next show, ladies and gentlemen. That is it from Professor here. We are looking at the return of Uhuru Kenyatta and what it means, especially in terms of the tilting the political waves in this country. We are moving very fast towards 2027, and things are changing. But remember, our team is on the ground, and we have all our eyes set on what is taking place, and we will keep you updated with comprehensive analysis of the same. Ladies and gentlemen, allow me stop at this particular moment till we have this conversation again. Have yourself a lovely day. My name is Evans.
Okay.